Greetings from my hometown. It's August 15th. We are a few days removed from BB Fest. Believe it or not, it's finally becoming a reality. It's going to happen in Cambridge, England, of all places. It's 40 degrees outside, centigrade, and I was supposed to record this video probably a couple of weeks ago, but among many things that you taught me is to appreciate and to respect my vacations, and I've been doing that religiously. I arrived to Serbia a month and a half ago. This is the first time I'm speaking English in a while, and I hope that I'll survive this experience. So I'm not really good at pre-recording things. I hate Zoom. I prefer actually to share a few words with you when I see you during this official event that we are going to organize, and in person as well. But here we go. The biggest challenge that I have is to somehow narrow down things that I want to say about you. And this is the reason why I prepare a few slides, just to frame this discussion, not to go overboard, and also to remind ourselves of days when we were young and naive. And let me try to do that. Here we go. So as I mentioned, you impacted my life in so many different ways, and for people perhaps who are about to make some important decisions in their life, apart from the choice of grad school, place where you go, choice of the advisor is probably the most important decision that you're ever going to make, and simply because it influences the rest of your career, the way you think, taste about problems, and your overall philosophy. And you better find somebody that you enjoy interacting with, because PhD is a long haul, it's a long process, and if you don't enjoy interacting with your advisor, it can be a miserable experience. And when I came to Santa Barbara, I had my own set of criteria. I wanted to find somebody who had intellectual breadth, but at the same time technical depth, and I needed to find an advisor that I enjoyed interacting with and who was doing exciting research. And you checked all of these boxes and way more than that. I typically don't change my impression that I form about people during our initial encounter. You don't get a second chance to form the first impression. And my first encounter with you was completely impressive. This George Clooney, like baby face guy, appeared, and he looked way more mature than his age, and possessed these Zen-like abilities that were confusing to me completely, and I couldn't really connect the dots, and this partly contributing to me feeling like Jim Carrey during my first 2 years in grad school at UCSB. Everything in Santa Barbara felt as if somebody was framing me, as if I was a main character in a reality show, way before reality shows became popular, where every single person that I met was just trying to convince me that, life in Santa Barbara is la la land. Coming from Serbia, where I had orthogonal experience, I was kind of suspicious, and I was waiting actually for reality to hit me and for somebody to pinch me and to tell me, hey man, look, pack your bags, go back to Serbia, dream is over. And you were confusing to me. I just couldn't believe that I met somebody who was so, first of all, patient, who was way more mature than his looks and his age would reveal. You were equally impressive in your interactions with your senior colleagues as you were with graduate students, but somehow, for whatever reason, I felt good about you, and I decided to work with you, and this was probably one of the best decisions that I made in my life. The rude awakening happened a couple of years after I arrived to Santa Barbara. We went to Halloween party at Brad Payden's, and when I saw this picture, I started actually scratching my head. I was like, man, I mean, this guy projects himself as this cool character, but there is only one person that he's aiming at in this picture. What annoyed the hell out of me is that this Z-like smirk was still on your face. That you were completely composed. You knew completely what you were doing there. And to be honest with you, if I was at your place, I would have used this club way more than than this picture reveals. And, this brings amazingly nice memories with my office mate and a close friend of mine, Sri Lankan Milli Vanilli, Aruna Ranavira, and Swedish Axel Rose, Niklas Carlson. And you at your best, man. I mean, this is the first time I saw you in a relaxed environment. All of a sudden, I started appreciating all these stories that friends of mine who were running into you in downtown Santa Barbara were telling me about you. So, but after this, I was like, hey man, I better start doing something. It took me a while actually up until I found myself, and the turning point really after this picture came in summer of 2001. I went to a local company, Raytheon. I'm going to burn in hell. They actually made bombs that were dropped in on Serbia in '99. So, and I sold my soul to the devil for a couple of months in summer of 2001. And I learned a couple of important lessons here. First of all, when people tell you that money does not matter, it doesn't matter to people who have money. To people who are broke, actually, money money is your life. And another lesson that I learned there is actually the research way of thinking is actually useful. It solves concrete practical problems. And I managed actually to solve their problem in 3 weeks. And after that, I was bored to death there. I started pumping iron again. I started doing push-ups actually in a parking lot. And another thing that I started appreciating after this internship at Raytheon is freedom and flexibility that you were giving me. Before that, I was suffocating actually in freedom that you were giving me. I was completely lost, and you can probably sympathize with that. This is typical mistake that Americans make when they want to spread democracy around the world. They think that actually people who never experience freedom and flexibility are going to be able to appreciate it. No, actually, they don't. They want to run back to their comfort zone. They always choose dictators. They choose people who give them a false sense of comfort. And I really appreciate that you didn't give me a false sense of comfort. You were there intellectually for me, but at the same time, you wanted me to mature and to step up and to do things my own way. And if you were behaving any other way, I think I would have given up grad school. I finally realized at the tender age of 30, what flexibility and freedom meant. I tremendously enjoyed our interactions. And rather than agonizing all the time about not being productive and about putting pressure on myself and, being happy with some minuscule progress that I felt was moving me forward, I started actually just playing with research. And from that point on, actually good things started happening. And the year after that, I remember that you came back from Jordan to the US. You were summoned to this Air Force Office of Scientific Research in Pasadena. I mean, these things, summer break killers. And, at that time, I didn't understand why anybody would get upset about getting a chance actually of presenting at these things. Enjoying 15 minutes of fame there. But, from this vintage point, I completely understand your disgust of coming back. And you came back and I showed you what I did in the previous couple of months. And, you told me, hey, this is a beautiful story. And you, for the first time after 4 years, actually interacting with you, you said, I'm happy. And, once you said, I'm happy, I was mad. I was a made man. I was jumping up and down, and I'm like, I can finally have a conversation with a person that was so much better than I am at every single level. That I just had a blast. You made my life. All of a sudden everything made sense, and I genuinely enjoyed the remaining 2 years. I probably stayed in Santa Barbara a little bit longer than I could have, but I had a blast. And, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. In 2004, I got a job. I still don't have any idea why anybody would have given me a chance to do anything. And look at that commencement in 2004. Look at how young and proud and great we are with Simeon in background, probably explaining quantum mechanics to my parents or to some of my friends. But I love this picture. It just summarizes, 6 beautiful years of my life in Santa Barbara in a wonderful way. After that, I went to Minneapolis. Conventional wisdom is let me get out of here. Conventional wisdom is, detach yourself from your advisor. Don't have any connections. Create your own career. I didn't give a damn about that, man. I enjoyed interacting with you and coming to Santa Barbara in winter time from Minneapolis was just a lifesaver. It's just, whenever I came to Santa Barbara, I felt alive again. And one thing that I always enjoyed is just when I sit down with you, we just go into some zone where I can describe all good things that happen along the way, and then both socially and intellectually. And as a consequence, we wrote this paper. It took us a while, that eventually won Axelby Award, and I'm really proud of that. I'm proud that we were mature enough not to follow conventional wisdom, and that we just followed our gut feeling. And what makes me especially proud is that I started all these things in grad school in moments of complete desperation, and Navier-Stokes equations were killing me. I started playing with formations of vehicles, and then things happened in a completely unstructured way that were so exciting that actually I still have tremendously fond memories of this. I typically don't look back. I don't regret anything that happened in my prior life. When people ask me, would you have done anything differently? I say, I am who I am because of experiences that I have and because of all things that I went through. And I truly believe I would either change everything or I wouldn't change anything. But one thing that I regretted is that I haven't met somebody like you when I was much younger. That all people in my life before you, they were, alpha type of characters. They were projecting their authority in a completely wrong way. And, I wish I met somebody with Zen-like abilities who was genuine authority of knowledge and intellect at much earlier stage in my life when I was confused as every teenager or every student is. So you had tremendous impact on my life, my career. I value your mentorship, your friendship, and you've been always a source of inspiration for me. I don't want to dwell on this. I'll use opportunity that I'll see you in Cambridge to tell you a few more things. But I just want to tell you that I'm incredibly happy that this event is finally taking place. The original idea for BB Fest, believe it or not, came in 2004 during the Doyle Fest. You may remember that John Doyle organized, or it was organized, an event of epic proportions, a true Hollywood story, control theoretic circles, was organized at Caltech in 2004, and this was a combination of intellectual competition, if you can call it that way, an athletic competition. Of course, John had to organize athletic competition during his 50th birthday. And at the nth day of the event, Simeon and me were sitting in the last row of this amphitheater. And Simeon at some point said, he called me G, short for gangster. G, when we organize BB Fest, people are going to see how real celebrations are organized. So we agreed actually to organize BB Fest in 2013 in Vegas, of course. Where are we going to organize it? We're not going to organize it in Santa Barbara or in Cambridge, England. Right? We had to go to Vegas. We we knew actually that IEEE guards would cooperate and that they would organize CDC in Vegas in 2013. And around that time, these commercials got milk, right? Happy cows live in California, flying around and Simeon said, we're going to print t-shirts with God Bamieh, right? And with Bassam's picture on the front, and they're going to walk around CDC. So a few years after that, we mentioned this to you, and you absolutely wanted to kill us. You told us, if you ever do that, I'm never going to talk to you again. Never again. If you organize anything for my 50th birthday, first of all, I'll feel as if my career is over. And of course, Simon and I didn't pay any attention to that. But for whatever reason, life took over, and the BB Fest, Bamieh Fest, never took place. I even forgot that we ever had this conversation up until younger generation reached out to me recently and told me that this is going to happen, that they are thinking of organizing something actually to order your 60th birthday. I can't believe that you're 60, man. I just, it's the best of us. So yeah, they told me they plan to organize something, and I had to bring this entire story, and they love the story. I reached out to Simeon as well. I'll tell you exactly what he said, and I'm beyond thrilled actually to have something that honors you. The fact that you're giving a plenary and that you're organizing this workshop. By the way, I haven't started preparing slides. I had these nightmares that you mentioned during our last meeting where, I'm going to show up there and I'll have to start winging. I don't know how I'm going to survive this, but anyways, it's few days removed, fingers crossed. So I'm really delighted that you're doing this. It's not the original crew that is going to be there. I'm probably the only old timer. Unfortunately, I learned that neither Munzer nor Mustafa are going to be there. So I'm probably the only person who's going to have guts to host you there a little bit. I'll try to do my best to do it. And the roasting has to start by honoring Simeon. The very least I could do is to print this. The message that Simeon wanted to send across ages ago without your picture. I'm Americanized, so I have to be politically correct, but I'm proudly going to walk around Cambridge with this t-shirt. And I love this message, man. It took me a while to get you. It took me 3 years to get you, but once I got you, I never looked back. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you in my life. You changed my life upside down. You made me a better person. I am, this character who is intense, who our personalities are orthogonal to each other. We spend entire space, but I really appreciate your values. I appreciate things that you care about. I appreciate everything about you, and I can't wait to come to your plenary on Monday morning and to participate in this workshop. And finally, after a couple of drinks, to get a chance to grab the mic at this BB Fest dinner to continue embarrassing you in front of these younger generations, who look at you as some godlike creature as you are, man. You have Zen abilities like Phil Jackson, so Munzer would appreciate this. So, hey, Bassam, I'm not going to take any more of your time. Happy birthday. I can't wait to see you. And, I got you, man. I got you. So here is, to you. And I look forward to the rest of festivities that are just around the corner.